I'm the Near Mint Nerd, and you're on the I Got Issues channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review of U.S.Avengers #1. I wanted to start this little review by saying that I haven't been totally in love with the Avengers titles since the Now initiative started. The main book, I find the art to be a little impenetrable. I don't read... I'm confused as to what the other ongoings even are. So I'm hoping that... Occupy Avengers, for me, was a non-starter from the first issue. Just did not enjoy that at all. But now, U.S.Avengers is kind of like... I don't think this is going to become a Prime Avengers title because, again, the characters are all kind of secondary characters. I mean, the most famous person in this entire lineup is probably Cannonball and possibly Sunspot, who's now not even going by Sunspot. So Cannonball is certainly the longest running mutant slash X-Men slash Avenger, and that's it. The rest of these people are all pretty new. However, I did read the first issue. I'm going to talk about it a little bit, and then I'll give you my rating out of 5. I do want you to know that there will be spoilers because it's too hard to talk about a book. I'm going to show you some of the art as we go along. It's too hard to try to keep it spoiler-free. So if you haven't read this yet, go get it. Go grab a copy, give it a read, and then come back and join us. Or if you don't intend to read it at all, then, by all means, enjoy. But please don't get mad at me in the comments for spoiling any key parts of the issue. So basically, this comic it's the first issue, so of course it's mostly set up. It's a Meet the Cast issue. They do it in a creative way in that they kind of have an adventure going on, sort of an adventure of the issue, and then they interject to put the characters in and give them a little backstory and explain what they're doing there and who they are. And who they are is important because, as I said, these are not known faces. So the central core idea here is that Bobby DaCosta, who formerly went by the codename Sunspot as a X-Man or New Mutant as well, has actually purchased the AIM organization, which was Advanced Idea Mechanics, which was always a bad guy organization. But then they went corporate, and DaCosta bought them out and kind of weeded out all the evil people, and now they're kind of a force for good again. Now they go by American Intelligence Mechanics. So the idea here is that the American Intelligence Mechanics, or AIM, is now kind of a force for good. Kind of a covert government sanctioned group of Avengers. There's nothing in this issue that is about like there being an Avenger in every state, like the cover initiative that had a different Avenger in each state and represented the country of Canada. Deadpool was our agent, so I don't know how well that would go. Seems like he'd probably destroy the country before he'd save it. So maybe that's coming later, but for now, this is a very self-contained issue. It's kind of a done-in-one. It does have a cliffhanger. It is a part 1. The story is called Skullocracy. But it is also very self-contained to this first issue. So, of course, the first thing we do is introduce a huge, larger-than-life, giant air carrier that has a volcano on it. And the idea here is that this group of bad guys that they're kind of not giving away who they are right away, are going to deliver this thing to Hollywood, and I guess drip lava all over Hollywood. I guess that's the plan. Hard to say. Seems a little flimsy. Seems like a lot of work, quite frankly. There's probably easier ways to do this. So the idea here is we're setting in the team, and the first guy we meet on this team is of course Bobby DaCosta, who now goes by the name Citizen V, no longer Sunspot. he's now Citizen V, who, of course, was the secret identity of Baron Zemo when he was undercover on the Thunderbolts in that earlier series, which was bad guys disguised as good guys. So it's interesting now that we have a team of former bad guys who are now working for heroes and being led by a hero who has the codename Citizen V. It all kind of comes full circle. Kind of interesting. So then we meet Dr. Tony Ho, and this is a character I haven't met before. It seems like she's got a tie to Iron Man in that I believe it was her father, they're saying, and I think this is all retroactive, of course, but her father was the one that helped Tony Stark build his original suit in that prison he was in all those years ago that started his career as Iron Man. And her father was killed during that time, as we've seen in all of the Iron Man origin stuff. I think that's what they're getting at. It's not super clear because, I don't recognize the names and I haven't done a lot of research. But that's what I'm getting out of this. And she, it turns out, is also into building robots and computers. And, she's totally into all this stuff herself. Extremely talented. So she's built a new suit of armor. As she says, it's kind of Starky, but the insides, the design, all hers. And now she's the new Iron Patriot. So that's kind of interesting to have a new Iron Patriot. So she doesn't have any weapons. Very non-weaponized armor. It's all non-lethal. So she's actually using her force field of her suit. She's able to wrap that force field around this volcano, this giant volcano ship. And she's trying to stop it. But all she can do is slow it down. And there's a ticking clock, and we don't know why. Bobby DaCosta's just saying, we need to buy more time. We need like 2 more minutes before they can engage this super weapon they have. And we're not really sure what that super weapon is yet. But we'll get there. Next up, we meet Aiku Jokinen. And I hope I'm saying that name right. Codename Enigma. I don't know if this is a completely new character or if she's been in some, iteration of the Young Avengers or some such thing. It seems like what she's wearing as armor is the undersuit of another armor. And this undersuit gives her powers of phasing. Essentially, she's basically got the same power set as Kitty Pryde, except that she needs to wear this suit of armor to do it. Similar, kind of I would say, I don't know if you remember Ghost from Thunderbolt, but like a combination of Ghost and Kitty Pryde is her power set. So she kind of phases onto this base, and she's trying to close it down from the inside and not having much luck. So the next line of defense, and we're meeting all these people as we go. Next line of defense is Cannonball and Squirrel Girl. Doreen Green is Squirrel Girl, and Sam Guthrie, of course, is Cannonball. And Squirrel Girl has an army of flying squirrels that all have these missiles and stuff on them. It's pretty silly, but it's also pretty fun. I've always liked Squirrel Girl. She's a member of the Great Lakes Avengers, the GLA, who I love. So in they fly with these squirrels. Not very effective, of course. So now it's time for the main weapon, and we find out why we've been waiting 2 minutes. And it turns out the team has a Hulk. And the idea is that I think this is a new character. It kind of looks like Thunderbolt Ross, but his name is General Robert L. Maverick. And the idea is that he's got something called the Hulk plugin. And it's a genetic enhancement that basically allows him to be half a Hulk. So gain the power of about a half a Hulk once for an hour every roughly day and a half. And he's got a timer on his arm. So when the timer ticks down, it tells him when he's ready to go. And it even just kind of says smash when it's time for him to smash. It's kind of a fun concept. So finally they've killed enough time that he can activate his powers, and activate them he does, turning into the Red Hulk. At which point he just dives in and completely finishes off this ship, no problem. In fact, Squirrel Girl kind of makes a joke because he can be a Hulk for an hour. she makes a joke, hey, what is he going to do for the other 59 minutes? um, and then from there, we go to kind of like Sam and Bobby having a heart-to-heart just about whether this is a good idea, this new initiative. And out of nowhere comes our final new character, who is only seen here in this one panel. And it appears to be another Captain America. Seems like a lot of Captain Americas, but you know what? Let's see what happens. And then finally, in the end, it's revealed that the overall villain of the piece appears to be a version of the Red Skull, but he's got a gold skull. I think it's kind of a satire on the nature of the USA today, which is all about keeping the rich rich and pushing down and oppressing everybody else. In fact, there's a couple of very not so subtle nods to the whole election. In the first page, it has them talking about how now any lie can be sold as the truth. Any truth can be, buried as a lie and disproven. Black as white, dogs and cats living together. And that's it looks like that's kind of what this book's about. It's kind of an allegory of the state of the United States today. And how the powerful are uber powerful and everybody else is just ants and doesn't really get a say, and they're treated like sheep and all that. So, I thought this was a pretty good first issue. It did what it needed to do for a first issue. It introduced their new cast. I thought they were all given something interesting to do. Nobody was wasted. It all made sense. Excuse me, I'm still getting over a cold, so I probably sound terrible, and I apologize. It was the art looked really, really great. It's clear. I can tell what's happening in every panel. Paco Medina is the artist. He's very crisp, clean art. There's no overly artistic stuff like you might find from some of the other artists. Bachalo, for example, on Doctor Strange. I never know what's going on in that book. Here, it's great. His characters all look unique. Nobody looks quite the same. I'm really thrilled with the art. Although the Red Hulk looks exactly like Thunderbolt Ross, porn stash and all. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. The writing's very good. It's not trying to do too much. Al Ewing is the writer. Very simple story. Like I said, it feels like a one-off, even though it's part one of a bigger story, because by the end of the comic, they've kind of taken care of this immediate threat. And then in issue 2, I guess we'll dig in more with the gold-headed skull and see if this is the traditional Red Skull with a new kind of look, or if this is a new character altogether. We're not sure yet. That's all unclear. So I'm going to give this I think I'm going to give this, out of 5, I would give this a solid 4. Definitely going to pick up the second issue. Really curious to see where it goes. As an Avengers book, I don't know whether we should be calling this an Avengers book because, are there any Avengers in it? There's a new Captain America. There's a new Hulk. Squirrel Girl, I guess, was a Great Lakes Avenger. Sam and Cannonball and Sunspot are better known as X-Men rather than Avengers, but they have been on the Avengers. I'm not sure whether they've earned the Avengers name yet, but I'm going to give them a chance. Did enjoy the issue overall, and I do look forward to number 2. So 4 out of 5 stars on this one. U.S. Avengers. That's it.